Iron Man versus Optimus Prime. One's a master of machines. The other's one of the most powerful machines slash robots slash aliens ever created. So who's coming out on top here? And really, is it even gonna be close? Well, let's get into it. Now, for the fight here, I think it's important to say that we're using a composite version of Iron Man. So basically all the Iron Man armors combined into one, or just the general basic Iron Man armors. Like we won't use the God Killer armor or the Cosmic Iron Man armor because they're so powerful and so outside of Iron Man's norms, it'll basically turn into God Killer or Cosmic Iron Man in the fight, not truly Iron Man on a normal day. So Iron Man has always been kinda ridiculously strong, especially when you're considering that he's just a normal dude inside a metal suit. He's been able to help restrain the Hulk or arm wrestle against Thor. He can match straight up against Namor. He's actually done this on repeated occasions. And Tony has just regularly been able to fight against and casually overpower some pretty strong heroes in the Marvel Universe. I mean, call it whatever you want, but there have been multiple times where Iron Man's injured the Hulk with some of his punches. Same with the Thing too. I mean, not as impressive as the Hulk, but they have destroyed mountains in their fights before. Even the same with Hercules. Iron Man has just been able to regularly rock these guys and hold his own in a fight. Now, am I saying that Iron Man is stronger than any one of these guys or even on the same tier? No, I'm not. However, I think it's clear that hurting Hulk and Thor level beings is well within Iron Man's wheelhouse, because he's just done it way too many times to discredit. It's basically a regular thing for him across all his armors. He's also very, very tough. I mean, even just being able to fight against all those heroes and villains that we talked about before, you know Tony can take a punch. I mean, you can choose from plenty of different examples of Iron Man taking attacks from Hercules, or plenty of punches from the Hulk, or attacks from Thor and swings from Mjolnir. Some serious attacks all around, and for the most part, Iron Man is able to remain standing and keep on going in the fight. He's survived blasts that shook the whole world or sunk the entire West Coast, taking attacks from Heralds of Galactus or Magneto, amping himself with the power of literal planets. He's even taken attacks from Phoenix and Ghost Rider and Starbrand and Odin, all back to back to back. Tony regularly takes some of the meanest attacks that you've ever seen and remains standing. And that's if he just chooses not to use his shields to block the attack altogether. He's blocked punches from the Hulk, attacks from Ultron, even 1/5 of the Phoenix Force before. And Tony is plenty fast and agile. He's consistently been able to blitz opponents. He can operate in the millisecond to nanosecond range of his armor and computers. Even his repulsor blast have been clocked upwards of light speed. But take that last one with a grain of salt, because that doesn't seem to be consistent. But the best thing going for Iron Man in any fight is just all his weapons and powers. And you know Tony is packing a ton of weapons, most notably his energy blast. They've been able to injure Thor, injure the Hulk, injure Sentry. He's regularly injured or knocked out Thor level villains. He's injured massive monsters before, and even launched a Herald of Galactus out of orbit, or creating blasts that were felt all over the world. So for this video, since there are so many different continuities for Transformers and so many different versions of Optimus Prime, just know that we're going to be solely focusing in on the IDW Comics version of Prime. Sure, there's the animated and the Bayverse. They even showed up in Marvel Comics for a while, but this video is just going to be about the IDW version, because it's one of his most iconic versions, and arguably one of his most powerful. And buckle up, because Optimus in Transformers goes absolutely crazy. Now, Optimus might just transform into a giant 18-wheeler, but you gotta remember, this guy is a powerful alien warrior. He's basically like a robot Superman. And I mean that so literally, in which that means that he is incredibly strong and incredibly powerful, especially with his weapons and cannons. He's said to be the strongest Autobot out there, and he's been able to absolutely body other Transformers before, even some very powerful Transformers. Like he beat up on Galvatron, an ancient Transformer warrior and the first non-Prime Transformer to ever successfully kill a Prime. He's always been at least equal to, but usually superior to, Megatron. And Megatron isn't anything to scoff at. In fact, Megatron in his base form is powered by a black hole and was capable of destroying D-Void, or the personification of a dead universe. And you can actually scale it up even further by saying that D-Void was going to destroy the universe by fusing with it, and the dead universe already had many other universes inside of it, making this like a multiversal feat. And Optimus Prime pretty much always scales above Megatron. Optimus has even fought against and beat amped versions of Megatron before, like when Megatron was amped up with Super Energon or 13, which is basically the Transformers equivalent to the Power Stone. And that's just Megatron. Optimus has been able to defeat some much bigger and better Transformers too. Like Optimus was capable of shattering 6 Shot's armor, which is made out of the material of a collapsed star and metals drawn from the core of a black hole. So easily some of the strongest, toughest material in the known universe, and Optimus can shatter it with his bare hands. He was able to defeat Thunderwing, a Decepticon who was known as a threat to the universe, and was capable of sending out waves of destruction across the universe. And again, Optimus beat him all by himself. He beat Nova Prime, or Nemesis Prime, who after being sucked into the dead universe was chosen to be the host for the Darkness, an otherworldly counterpart of the Matrix of Leadership, which worked by transforming the inhabitants of the dead universe into undead wielders of the Anti-Life. And Optimus beat Nova Prime while they were both in the dead universe, meaning that Nova had complete and total control of the very universe around them. And Optimus still beat him. And just to give you a little bit more context here, Nova Prime was threatening to merge all the universes into one, meaning that he's arguably a multiversal threat. So that makes Optimus defeating a multiversal threat on his own, and clearly scaling above Megatron too, who's able to defeat universal or multiversal threats himself. Plus, Optimus Prime has even defeated the Elder God Cthulhu in a Transformers Lovecraft crossover, and Cthulhu is another universal being. So just another universal being that Optimus has put down. And that's just talking about Optimus Prime's power output. It's not even mentioning just how absolutely durable this guy is. He's an absolute tank. Like, for all the Transformers that Optimus has fought against and beaten, he's also taken attacks from all those Transformers too. He took numerous blasts from Nova Prime, who at the time was also empowered by D-Void, who we've already explained earlier. And Optimus just went on to survive all those blasts. He's taken blast from Galvatron, someone who's powerful enough to kill Nexus Prime, one of the original Transformers. He's taken blast from Megatron, who, remember, was powerful enough to destroy and defeat D-Void. He's even taken hits from Regenesis Shockwave, a super amped version of the Decepticon Shockwave, who was all powered up with the power of both dead universes and or 14. which again is basically a Transformers equivalent to an Infinity Stone. In addition to all that, Shockwave was powerful enough at the time to cause the universe to have never been, and he was going to use that power to consume all the universe's resources. So if you're taking all of that and scaling it up to the best, it means that Optimus Prime is able to survive what looks like some pretty universal attacks. He's been able to survive kinetic harpoons, which are stated to be stronger than nuclear weapons, and he survived being stepped on by Trypticon, an ancient bestial transformer that's so big and so powerful that it's able to shake the planets and shake the skies in its fight. Space and time can't even tear Optimus Prime apart. And then if anything ever did happen to Optimus, well, Optimus is technically immortal, so he's never really staying down for good. He's always coming back at some point or another. And then there's Optimus Prime's prized possession, the Matrix of Leadership. It's a relic of great power, usually held by the leader of the Autobots, and it's said to be a conduit for the power of Primus, the creator god of the Transformers, so serving as a means to access the Transformers' afterlife. It can bestow new life or even provide the wielder with a way to communicate with the dead. Because of that, it's often seen as a significant item in the Transformers religion. But even outside of its divine connection, the Matrix of Leadership can also bestow someone with significant physical power, to the point where it's actually one of the few items that Unicron, the Chaos Bringer, fears, all because it embodies the power of Primus. And just how powerful is Unicron, you might ask? Well, pretty darn powerful. He's the very concept of evil and chaos, was the original Lord of the Dark Gods, and is a multiversal singularity. Only one of him exists in the multiverse. He's a unique being across all of reality and can travel between realities and universes at will. Unicron is even so powerful that his whole thing isn't just to consume and destroy planets like Galactus, but he completely and totally one-ups Galactus by consuming and destroying entire universes. And the universes in Transformers are huge. Each universe contains multiple dimensions, and sometimes Unicron even consumes universal streams or universal clusters, which are essentially mini multiverses, as they contain millions of universes or even quadrillions of universes. And yet, Unicron is afraid of the Matrix of Leadership. So when Optimus pulls that thing out, even guys like Unicron start getting worried. And this is definitely backed up too. The Matrix was fully capable of destroying Devoid, who we've already been over. That guy is comfortably universal, maybe even multiversal. End of the day, this version of Optimus Prime is an absolute juggernaut. He can easily stand shoulder to shoulder with the likes of Superman, with Thor, with Goku, and sometimes even surpass them. At his best, Optimus Prime is a multiversal powerhouse. Pretty good for a semi-truck. So who wins here? Well, let's break it down. Now, when it comes to Iron Man, it's really a tragedy how much this guy is slept on. I mean, Tony has so many impressive feats that what you would at first just think are outliers start to become just regular occurrences for the guy. Like we said, he's strong enough to fight against some of the strongest heroes in Marvel. We're talking like Thor, Hulk, Namor, Wonder Man, or Hercules. It's actually so consistent that even knockoff Iron Man armors like War Machine or Iron Patriot are able to pull off similar feats. Not saying that Tony is literally top 5 or even top 10 strongest heroes in Marvel, but he can definitely throw a punch with the best of them. He can survive nukes with just 1% of power remaining in his armor, survive attacks that can destroy the entire West Coast or be felt all around the world. He's even taken repeated attacks from the likes of Hulk, Thor, or even a young Odin with his own makeshift version of the Avengers. And that's not even mentioning weapons capable of injuring the Hulk, Thor, Sentry, Red Hulk, the ability to launch out EMPs that can shut down both Vision and even Doctor Doom, and pretty much any other weapon or ability that you can think of. Standard Iron Man is really a juggernaut. But there's one thing that we should have learned here is that Optimus Prime is a juggernaut too. He's so much more than a robot who can transform into an 18-wheeler and carries around a big gun. He's able to defeat threats to the entire universe, or beat Nova Prime while they were fighting in a universe that Nova Prime controlled. Even just simply his fights with Megatron put him on a dang near universal level, seeing as how Megatron is able to defeat universal threats himself. Now, you can argue that Iron Man can fight universal level beings too, Thor and Hulk and the like, but there's a big difference between being able to fight universal beings and consistently beating universal beings. So that definitely gives Optimus the edge. And sometimes I think it truly is as simple as that. Iron Man could potentially give Optimus Prime a good fight, but they really just operate on two different tiers. Now, Iron Man could potentially beat him in some different armors, like Cosmic Iron Man is a threat to the whole Marvel multiverse and was a power that even the Living Tribunal had to recognize. You gotta assume that an armor like that could beat Optimus Prime. But in a normal fight, well, you gotta assume that Optimus Prime would come out on top in the end. And honestly, it might not even be that close. But what do y'all think? Sound off in the comments down below. I know you're gonna have thoughts and feelings on this one for sure. If you stuck around this long and made it to the end of the video, that's amazing. Thank you so much for watching and for supporting us. And if you want to go subscribe, well, go subscribe. You're gonna see more videos like this one every single week. I'll see y'all then. I'll see y'all next time.